with Dave now here from Glass Animals joining me on the Green Room podcast. Dave, I would normally say a normal hello, but I've just had the weirdest thing happen that I was going to say before we started, but it's probably more exciting to do it in the episode. I just had a storm roll through and a little glass thing just toppled onto my desk and smashed in front of me as soon as I had to jump on this. So I'm sitting here with little shards of glass talking to Dave from Glass Animals. So I feel like it's really poetic.
God/dangerous and life-threatening. Yes. Careful.
Oh, it's only tiny, luckily. But it's so exciting to have you here today. I mean, not only have you had such an incredible 2021 despite all the odds, but we are now primed and ready for a new year. And selfishly, we also get to have Glass Animals return to Australia finally, which is such an exciting sentence to utter.
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be a moment. It's going to feel like coming home.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Well, I feel like you kind of almost are these honorary Australians. And with Dreamland coming to town, how does it feel to actually be able to take this long, long plane trip out here once again? Because I do know it's been a little while here now since you've been down under.
It's been too long, basically, frankly. I just can't wait. I think Australia is always where we've had the best shows ever. And crazy stuff always I don't know why, but crazy stuff always happens at shows. I remember the first show, I think it was the first show we ever did in Australia, was at a festival called Falls Festival, and it was like 1 PM. So basically, like, people have probably just started drinking, hopefully. Yeah. And as soon as we started playing, someone climbed up all the scaffolding of the tent and like had this belt made of wine bags and was basically feeding the crowd. It was just stuff like that always seems to happen.
Oh, the Australian culture going strong at Falls Fest at Glass Animals. I love it. Well, excitingly, we do have like standalone Glass Animal shows to look forward to, but you'll obviously be returning to a festival stage. You'll be playing Splendour in the Grass, of course, after a lot of postponements have been happening with this one. But how pumped are you to get on stage at more festivals in 2022? I know you've been doing a few more things in 2021, but how keen are you to get back on the festival circuits in Australia as well?
I'm so pumped. I'm really, really pumped. I love festivals because we get to play it and then we get to go and see stuff. I try my best always to hang around and see as much music as possible. I have like a little, what's it called? Disguise.
Ooh.
Sort of thing. I don't know if I'll be able to bring it. I might have to get a new one.
Is it like Where's Wally, but it's Dave?
Well, I just have a shark suit, but I've just given it away. So now I need a new one. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that, really. I should have made something up and lied.
Well, maybe you'll just do the shark thing and just fool everyone and people will be like, no, it's not him. He's not doing the shark this time. So it could fool everyone. You never know.
I'll get a new one. Maybe I'll do like SpongeBob or something, but I need to stop saying what my disguise is going to be.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but look, you do you. I'm very, whatever happens, I'm sure we'll look after you no matter, even if you are discovered. So I'm sure you'll be very well looked after when you're here. But I don't want to ask anything that'll give away too many secrets, only some minor safe secrets. What can we expect from a Glass Animals live show in 2022? Like, has the pandemic allowed for more time to branch out, simplify, experiment, or plan anything extra special?
No, not at all. It's incredibly boring. And we basically just sit down cross-legged and just stare at the crowd for an hour.
I'm into this. I'm so keen.
Yeah, excited. No, we have a lot of fun. What do we do? We do a kind of like reworked version of all the songs live. We've had a lot of time to rehearse. Some would say we're over-rehearsed because we had nothing else to do for a year and a half. So we really went in, we changed a lot of the songs. So they just sound more like, it's more dancey, I think, than the recordings. The recordings are quite chill, quite mellow, and we try to make it different to the recording because you can just go home and listen to the recordings.
This is press play on the phone while you're there, but no, that'd be rude. Would never do that. But obviously, I know you guys over there have opened up. You've just been able to get around a few places, whereas in Australia we've been a little bit behind with that. But what was it like to get back out on the stage for the first time after like 18 months of no shows? Like, was it rusty? Did it just come back straight away like muscle memory?
It was nerve-wracking, you know. I was pretty scared. I always get a little nervous before going out in front. I think it's not like, sorry, I just had a bagel. and some cereal. So
Oh, I'm so jealous.
hiccuping and burping. But I'm not like, I'm a little bit kind of shy. I'm weird. I'm slightly like afraid of crowds.
Mm.
So this is a terrible job choice for me. But so I get a bit nervous, is what I'm trying to say, and I was really nervous. So it was the first shows in a really long time, and some of the first shows since our drummer had this bad accident, and he's made this like miracle recovery. But some of our first shows back with him, and so I knew he was really nervous, and I think for that reason, it just felt so. It felt like totally euphoric. After we got that first song out of the way, it just felt like totally euphoric. I actually cried. I was completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, wow. And that's the thing, like this album, obviously don't want to say it's not just another album, but obviously there's a bit of a difference with what happened with Dreamland. Obviously, like you touched on, there were a few factors that did play into it. And, there's a bit more nostalgia. Stylistically, it leans into some R&B and hip hop, but the conception, I believe, took place in the aftermath of that pretty heavy moment for your amazing drummer. Can you take me back to the early days of Dreamland prior to any of these awful happenings? Like, was the plan always to branch out and get a little bit autobiographical? Or I know something famously you have not done a lot with Glass Animals in the past, or did it purely emerge from what was happening around that time, around 2018 onwards?
I think it was a couple of things. That accident definitely was the kind of final push. But before that we'd done this song. There was a song called Agnes on the second record. That was like the first personal song that I'd ever written. I've always kind of like, I hate talking about personal stuff, and I played the guys this song Agnes at the end of the second album process, and they were like, "You have to put this on the record." And I was like, "I really don't want to. I'm quite shy. This is too personal." And Joe made me do it basically, and I think the response from people to that song was like a big encouraging factor.
Mm.
Like, we put out a personal song, and it definitely had the most kind of crazy personal response from people. And that was encouraging. I thought if I wrote a personal song and it meant something to a couple of people, I could maybe do it again.
Mm.
And then I was doing a lot of writing for other people, and when I wrote like personal story, because someone else is singing, so it's easy to write something personal to you. So I was writing some personal stuff, and that was the stuff they kind of gravitated towards. And then I realized that all my heroes kind of write quite personal songs, and they make you feel a bit less like, I don't know, they kind of they make you feel a bit less alone when they've written something personal, because you can relate. So all of those things, and then finally Joe had this accident, and it was just like, I was just sitting in the hospital waiting for news, really, and your brain goes to really weird places, strange, kind of weirdly similar to the pandemic. You're not going out doing new things, creating new memories, seeing your friends, because you're just sitting in a room waiting for news. The future looks really bleak, and your brain kind of starts to relive old memories, and that was it. That's when I started like writing some of those down.
And it's seeing a lot of that. Isn't it interesting when something so personal and so autobiographical does come out, but like you said, it does connect with so many people. Like, it's the beauty of art. I mean, it's not always designed for other people to connect with, but it just inevitably taps into something so universal with it. At the end of all of this, seeing it come out, like all your memories and early, experiences coming into this final end product, like, did you feel relieved when it came out, or did it feel like a bit overly personal? Like, how did you actually feel as a band collectively to approach not only a new album, but something so inherently personal as well?
It felt weird. It felt really weird. I was scared. I felt a bit like I was walking out naked. And especially considering the climate of the world, everyone was locked in. Everyone was really listening to old music, kind of trying to find comfort in the past at that point, because the whole world was locked down with COVID, and I didn't really know where new music fit into that. And I felt weirdly selfish talking about personal stuff, and I think like a lot of people did, felt very like self-conscious in that time anyway. So yeah, it was a scary thing to do. And to be honest, I had zero expectations for the record. I'd had conversations with my management saying like, look, you're going to put this album out, it's going to be a flop because the world just is in a different place right now. But put it out, otherwise it'll be old. You've been promising people this music for a long time, and then just start writing your next one.
Yeah.
So I had that in my head. But at the same time, it was so personal. It was like my baby, and I really wanted it to do. So I did everything I could to give it a kind of life, and somehow it's gotten us here.
Yeah. Well, and the response to something so personal, and obviously something you had seemingly small expectations for from your side of it, has been just astronomical. I mean, the ricocheting effect that album has had, and I know so many people I've spoken to are just obsessed with it, and it was such a almost like a life jacket during the pandemic to have something to cling on to that was not always upbeat and always happy, very lucky, but just something to kind of cling to and express yourself through. And not only that, obviously here in Australia, I think we'll just keep adopting you. Like, you guys have just absolutely smashed it in 2021. I mean, you've had #1 spot in the Triple J Hottest 100. You've absolutely smashed the ARIA records. You had the most streamed song in Australia in 2021. And I believe 92 million streams in 2021 just for Heat Waves alone. Like, it's entirely not too shabby. And I feel like the love affair is very, very real for this, your baby that you have put out for everyone.
Oh my God. I mean, all of that stuff is almost incomprehensible. But I guess I have to say that like the reaction in Australia, that was like one of the first places that, I mean, ever in the history of the band, liked us.
Yeah.
And it was the same with this record, like watching the response over there and people like social media and things were kind of, I would kind of wake up to see what people were doing, and there was all this amazing artwork and these like people listening to the record all coming from Australia.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my life jacket. That's why I got up through that period when I could well have been, and kind of was quite feeling pretty doomed.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody, really.
It's been incredible to see, and it just seems to go from strength to strength. And I mean, we obviously didn't represent ourselves as probably brilliantly as we could have with the guy with his wine belt feeding the crowd, but it's very, very, very benevolent. So I'll give him that. But when you are in Australia compared to, say, when you're playing like a home crowd or somewhere else in the world, I mean, we're about to finally get more Glass Animals finally. We probably won't let you leave, but is there like a pretty sturdy or typical Glass Animals fan no matter where you go, or are we particularly rowdy, or is there anything unique about us?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots unique about Australia. If I could, I would come and never leave. But I have a dog and my mum, who would be really upset.
Yep, I'll allow that. Lucky you said that.
Yeah, I mean, she has actually just very recently gotten an Australian boyfriend. Yes, go mum.
Yes, go on.
So maybe I will be coming and staying over there. I don't know. We'll see. But
I like this.
In terms of what the crowd, I mean, the crowds are always amazingly, like, the great thing about playing in Australia is the crowds are just like happy to be there. I don't want to diss anywhere else.
We don't get out very much, so we like to go out and see shows.
What? Are you kidding? Everyone seems to always be up for going out and
we're out. I'm out right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Laura, who's on this call as well, is actually on the Zoom call and out at the moment. So, like,
my hero.
I don't know if you saw it. She's like walking around. Like, everyone's always out and doing stuff. It's wicked, and everyone's kind of up for having a really good time. I feel like some other places, not all places, can be a little bit like, all right, guys, impress me. When you're like standing on the stage and the crowd can just be there like cross-armed. It takes a minute. It takes like a couple songs and then they're like, all right, we'll have fun now.
Yeah.
But Australia, it's like even before the show's begun, people are ready, and it makes it so much. It makes it so nice going on stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I guess something I wanted to ask you based on something you said earlier, like, I mean, you said you were obviously a little bit more sounding like an introvert. Like I'm an introvert, but I talk to people all the time. So I've also picked the wrong job. But in terms of like stages, you've played the full gamut of stuff at this point. You've done festivals, live, big venues, small venues, everything. Do you actually prefer one over the other when you kind of get a chance to play small shows? Do you enjoy them more, or do you just love everything and anything and just take whatever comes? Or do you have a secret preference?
I've been asked this question a lot, and I've thought about it, and I always end up giving a different answer because at any given time I'm up, I'm up for something different. They all have something special. Those small shows are good because you can like see people's faces and they're sweaty, and everyone's like sweating on each other, and there's a kind of cool energy to that. The big shows are wicked because like there's a lot of people. They make a lot of noise. It's quite exciting.
Yeah.
And festivals. I will always have a thing for festivals. I think maybe I'll go with festivals today.
Yeah. So we'll check in like 6 months' time and just see what you're saying, just to see if the story's changed.
Festivals I feel like everyone just is ready to have fun at a festival.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys, I mean, you would fit in anywhere, but there is just something about hearing Glass Animals. I saw you guys live, I think at Laneway. I couldn't tell you the day because I'm losing my memory with each passing day, but it was, you could barely get to the stage. I think I was halfway up the hill. I'm like, oh, this is as good as it's going to get. Okay. But it was it was just such a beautiful vibe. The sun was still out. It was very wholesome, but it was just such a beautiful experience. And yeah, I feel like you guys can play anywhere, but especially ready for an Aussie festival. Like the festival vibes are real. Definitely.
I'm so ready. There's so much good music in Australia at the moment and like the lineups of these festivals are amazing. It's gonna be special.
Yeah. Well, speaking of live shows, like I don't want to take you back too far down memory lane, but considering we've got a little bit of time to wait till you come here, I know you guys have played, as I said, countless shows, but can you take me back to like the first ever proper official Glass Animals gig? Like I know you guys played, probably just a bit over a decade. You kind of officially became the band that is Glass Animals at the moment. But where was the first proper show? Who was there? Would we chalk it up as a success?
No.
Excellent.
It was not a success. It was shit. It was at a venue that was across the street from my house. I went and gave them a demo CD, and they were like, "Cool, you can come play." We were playing at like 4 p.m. on a bill of like 5 artists, and there was no one there, and we only had 2 songs. So yeah, it was terrible. We played for about 7 minutes, and that was it. Maybe even less than that. Probably about 5 minutes. We had no idea.
Type 5.
Your type 5, yeah, type 5. Let's call it that. Shit 5.
Shit 5. I like
it. Tight shit 5.
Yeah, perfect.
And it just we learned a lot. That's what I'll say. We stood completely still on stage, and at this point we all had really long hair because we did, because we didn't want to pay for haircuts, and we looked totally ridiculous. And it taught us basically that we needed to have a bit more fun on stage. We took it way too seriously for that 5 minutes. We were like, okay, we're gonna focus, nail this, and
game face on
perfectly. Yeah, but actually, what's good about a show is you don't necessarily want, like, if you perform everything perfectly, like the recording, it's actually I find it quite boring. I've seen a lot of shows like that, and it's nice, but I can go home and put my headphones on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And did any of the songs, do I say plural songs, one and a bit songs, have any of those songs survived and made it into a live set in Glass Animals later on beyond that, or did you retire those songs after that first gig?
Yeah, we binned them immediately.
Damn it.
Yeah, they were trash. They were absolute trash. And I think by the time we played a gig in Australia, which wasn't that long after that, really, because it was just one of the first places, one of the only places where at the beginning people actually like listened to the music. And we came over and we didn't have that much music. I remember we were playing our first show at the Ding Dong Lounge in Melbourne. I don't know if you remember that place.
Yes.
And the person who's putting on the show, Renee, who's still our promoter to this day was like, so how long are you going to play for? And we were like, well, like 25 minutes. And she was like, they're going to be so unhappy. They're going to rip your head off. And so we basically had to play, we have this song called Gooey, and we just played it at the end for as long as we possibly could. Played like a 20-minute version of it, and then we walked off stage, and we came on and we played it again. Fleshed it out. We did about 45 minutes. Very proud.
Oh, 45-minute cut of Gooey. Please release that as a single for me.
It was too long. It was way too long.
I'm just picturing like the weird experimental jazz section from Spinal Tap where they just go real improv. Like I don't know. Like if you ever get bored and someone can't make it to a festival, it could be a little backup.
I'm game. It'll be shit, but
that's not to like. It's all about the experience. We'll just experience it all together. Now, I know you've had a huge couple of months, we'll say more than that, a huge couple of years. And obviously 2022 is hopefully looking a lot brighter for all of us. But aside from the incredible stuff you guys have been doing, has there been any particular bands or artists or albums that have caught your eye in 2021? Have there been any new releases that you've been secretly churning through while you're doing all your other adventures?
That's a good question. I was thinking about this the other day, and I wrote a list.
Oh.
Because it's that time of year, isn't it? It's that
sure
end
is.
of the year. You start thinking about what you've been listening to. I've been listening to Wet Leg. Do you know Wet Leg?
I do know Wet Leg.
I like Wet Leg. Song called Chaise Long. I like that one. I got obsessed with this Troye Sivan song.
Yep.
It's called Could Cry Just Thinking About You. It's like a really raw, like acoustic number. And I think it's just... Is that how you pronounce his name? Sivan?
Troye Sivan, yes, nailed it.
Yeah. Just like beautiful song that.
Yeah.
And what else? I listen to the Lord record a lot. I really love that one.
Mm-hmm.
I always have time for Kanye records, so I've listened to that a bit. And I've been listening to this guy, Didi Dumbo.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. I end up revisiting his records every once in a while just because I think they're so beautifully recorded. And that was what I wrote down.
Yeah, I actually think I discovered, well, not discovered, I didn't personally discover them, but Didi Dumbo around the same time I started listening to Glass Animals, interestingly enough. So there's a nice crossover there. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I saw him at a festival. I was talking about going to see artists at festivals, and I've been to see him at many a festival. It's wicked. Great musician.
Oh, fantastic. I might actually do another binge on that. You've just reminded me. I'll have to write down so I don't forget. But yeah, well, you've helping me. I'll just secretly ask that so I can amass my own playlist from other people and not have to actually think of anything. But beyond that, let's think about you again for a minute here. I mean, obviously 2022 Aussie tours, splendor festivals, everything else that's going on. The sky is definitely not even the limit for you guys, I feel like, coming into 2022. But is there anything else you can reveal about what Glass Animals might be getting up to in the new year?
Yes, I can say that.
That won't get you in trouble. I don't want to be that guy.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We got something coming. Some kind of musical thing. Music, not a musical, but something to do with music. Yes, we've done a musical. That could be interesting. No, I don't know. Not for me yet.
Just put it in the far away to-do list just in case, for a rainy day, just in case.
I don't know what I'd write about. Musical about cereal and eating, but there's some music coming. I can't say much more than that. And
I'll just even that makes me so happy, and many, many people as well, and probably you guys as well.
I'll say it's a collaborative effort. That's all I'll say.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that little snippet. And I know you've got plenty of other things to be doing, so I won't keep you long. But considering I have brought you on the Green Room podcast today, I always like to ask my musical guests especially, what is one key item you like to have backstage in your green room when you're on the road, whether it's silly, essential, or just personally meaningful?
I always have cereal on the rider. Just because I eat it before the show, I eat it when I wake up. I eat it for lunch, and I eat it after the show. It's an easy, quick snack. It's delicious. And I think by now I've tasted all the cereals from all around the world.
Ooh, what's your
Some are
go-to?
disgusting.
What's the go-to?
You know what? Right now, I am really digging this stuff. It's called Apple Jacks. Do you know that? It's American, because we've just been in America for so
Yeah,
long.
right.
I even brought some back with me. It's right here, and it's quite sugary. It's the only thing. Yeah. It's quite sugary, but that's what I'm on at the moment. Apple Jacks.
I like it. Well, note to Australia, we might need to get you stocked up on some good cereals when you come out here. So I don't know if we've got any new ones. It's been a while, but we might just have some newbies to tempt you with when you come out.
Yeah, please. Honestly, send them over. I'm happy to taste.
Maybe you should make your own. That can be your other step. You've tasted so many.
Say that.
This might be it.
You say that, but there's it's genuinely something I'm trying to do.
Oh my God.
I am. I shouldn't say too much more about that.
Oh, more secrets. We won't. Okay, say no more. We'll stop it there so we don't get you in trouble. But it's been amazing to chat to you today. I know everyone here is just so excited to have you back here when you guys do get out for Splendor and your shows. But until then, I can't wait to see what other chart records you smash here, all the other things you do. And no doubt between then and now, you'll have even more amazing milestones up your sleeve. So here's to an incredible 2022 and congratulations on everything so far.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on the show.
Likewise. We'll have to find some good cereal.
Yes, please.
Green Room with Tiana Speter is a euphony podcast. Created by Craig Treweek. Produced by Tiana Speter and Andrew Mast. Hosted by Tiana Speter. Recorded, edited, and engineered by Zig Parker. Music by Zig Parker.